Stop giving away your power and stop thinking that everyone else knows better than you. The BS has to stop. You've got to stop listening to the outside world and taking all of this nonsense and believing that you're a certain person, bad or good, based on all this BS that's out there, all this judgment. Stop labeling yourself good or bad based on your food choices. I think doing this is what's messing with people's heads and is what's causing people all over the world to struggle with food, weight, and emotional eating. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional at all, so don't listen to me. This is strictly just my opinion, but also some experience too, because I used to be morbidly obese. I struggled with food, weight, and emotional eating most of my life. A calorie is a calorie, and a lot of people get confused on this. 100 calories of broccoli is the same as 100 calories of a donut. Yes, does broccoli have more fiber and it might keep you a little more full? Yes, but the donut is tasty and you're gonna love it. It's gonna satisfy your sweet tooth. So eat what you like, but eat in a calorie deficit. I sometimes eat broccoli and donuts in the same day. You're allowed to eat what you like if you do it in a balance and you eat a lot of protein and fiber and you have, like fruit and veg, and you throw in the things that you do like and whole grain carbs and things like that. You will have a balanced diet, include the things you love. If you like cookies or pizza or whatever, add that in and you'll have a beautiful balanced diet. Eat just a little bit less, not drastically less, just a little bit less. The goal is to eat as much as you can while staying in a calorie deficit and eating a balance so that you can actually stick to the darn calorie deficit. Stop judging yourself. Eat what you want. Yes, include some fruits and veg and stuff for balance and for health, but if you don't like the food you're eating, you're never gonna stick to it. And judging yourself for what you're eating, it's just BS and it's just giving in to people, and they're gonna judge you no matter what you eat. Even if you ate the most perfect diet in the whole land, somebody would have a problem with it. As a little kid, I started emotional eating around 10 years old, and I was hiding food and eating in secret because I was embarrassed and ashamed. The food that I was eating, I was labeling bad, and so I was taking on that I was a bad person for eating it. I felt so ashamed that it was causing me to have all of these struggles. One day I started realizing, wait a minute, I wasn't born labeling food good or bad or calling myself bad or thinking I was a bad person because of food. Where did this come from? And I realized, no, we're not born knowing any of this. It comes from the external world. Newspapers, music, magazines, books, movies. And now with social media and the internet, all over the world, 24 hours a day, you can hear somebody saying, you're bad for eating this, don't eat that, eat this, stop this, this is not healthy, this is healthy, you're unhealthy, healthy, bad, good, based on what you eat. I really think this is why people are struggling, because what we're doing is we're internalizing all of this, and it's causing us fear, guilt, and shame, and we're identifying with the food. So if we eat something labeled bad or unhealthy, we then think that we're bad and unhealthy for eating it. But if we eat something labeled good or healthy, then we can feel okay about ourselves for a little while, and then we can feel like a good person for a bit. But it doesn't last because we keep depending on what other people are thinking and saying and what the world is saying about what is good or bad in food, and then we're doing that to ourselves. That is causing so much guilt around food. What's happening is then people are making food either the hero or the enemy, depending on the kinds of foods that they're eating, and then it's causing people to restrict, to feel deprived, go on these diets or stay away from certain foods because they're scared, and then they become the bad person and they become guilt because of what they're eating or not eating. or what they should be eating, or they like something but they can't eat it because people are gonna think they're bad or unhealthy. And then it puts us in this cycle where, okay, we wanna lose weight, so we're gonna restrict, take away all our favorite foods. Then it causes us to crave them more because we're restricting them, we're feeling deprived. Then we break because you can only do that for so long, it's not sustainable. Then all heck breaks loose because you've been depriving yourself of those foods, so now you want to eat more of them because you think they're bad. Then you go, oh no, what have I done? I'm bad because I ate these things labeled bad. And then you feel ashamed, you're scared, you don't know what to eat. You're overwhelmed, you know you want to lose weight, but you now don't know what to do, and you go back in this cycle over and over and over again. And I know because I was stuck there. You're not bad or good for what you eat. Labeling food just makes you stuck and holds you back. What I realized was when I was a kid, I didn't have that problem. Like little Nicole always had missions. She always knew what she wanted to eat. She knew when, what, how much, when she was done, and when she was ready to go play. And I remember doing this as a kid all the time. I would, have toast and peanut butter for breakfast. I'd eat half of it, and then I would hand my plate to Nona and say, okay, I'm done now. I want to go play. But based on how you're raised, sometimes, even though families mean well, they might influence how you look at food. And I was often put down for when I was finished, kind of challenged in a way like, well, no, you're not done. Finish your toast, then you can go play. And everybody meant well, and I don't blame anybody, but when you're little, you then stop trusting your instincts because you think everyone around you that's older knows better. But even though they might mean well, they don't always. And then you start listening to all of the media that's all over the place all the time, and you start losing that connection with your intuition of what you actually want. And that's what happened, and I think that happens with a lot of us. I stopped listening to little Nicole, who knew what she wanted when she wanted it, and then I started getting very confused and identifying myself with the food instead of just trusting what I wanted, when I wanted it, and being done with it like I knew. I got so confused and overwhelmed and lost along the way. Now I'm trying to get back to that. And that's why I wanted to do this video, because I think a lot of people get lost and then they start trying to please other people with their diets. And then if their diet doesn't live up to other people's expectations, they start internalizing that and thinking that they're wrong because of what they eat. There's nothing wrong with you. And if you like something, there's nothing wrong with that. In order to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit, which means you need to eat less. If you love something, like for me, I loved French fries and gravy. That was my favorite thing. I was talking to Kyle this morning about it. When I was a kid, that's all I wanted. If it was breakfast, I wanted home fries. And if it was lunch or dinner, I wanted French fries and gravy. Well, when you're a kid, I got heck. What, Nicole, that's not healthy. Why are you eating that? Why are you eating that? You shouldn't just eat that. You shouldn't just eat that. So then I started feeling bad because that's what I like to eat. And then I would stop eating it, but then it would just cause me to sneak it and eat way more of it. There's nothing wrong with the fries and gravy. And I've been keeping pictures of myself as a little girl around, which I'll show you in a minute, to remind myself, little Nicole always knew what she wanted and there was never anything wrong. I didn't look as a little girl at food as good, bad, healthy, unhealthy. I looked at like, oh, hey, my Nona, she grew fresh cherries in the cherry tree. Oh, I'm climbing that to get some cherries. And then I'm gonna eat a mortadella sandwich. And then we're going out for dinner and I'm getting French fries and gravy. And then later I might eat some cucumber salad that Nona pulled from the garden. It was always a balance without even realizing it. And none of the foods I ate were bad or good. It was just, oh, that's tasty, I'll eat that. Oh, I'm full now, or I wanna play, I'll eat when I'm hungry later. Trusting those instincts, going back to that, it's still there. Now that you're older, it might not be as strong because we've kind of buried it with all of this overload of information that we have now. But if you listen to that little version of yourself and do what I'm doing now, which is combine it with adult Nicole, who's lost 130 pounds, worked through the emotional eating, kept the weight off for 9 years, now adult Nicole has some nutrition information and more of a balance to add to little girl Nicole. Meet Bullhead. I still wear bowls on my head, by the way. I've been calling this Bullhead. It's a loving term, but this is me as a little girl. I don't know, I'm probably 2 or 3. But if you can tell, I'm on a mission, and I think my mom took this picture and she kind of stopped me in the middle of the mission. But that little girl knew what she was doing, when she was doing it, when she was done, when she wanted to eat, what she wanted to eat, and when she was done, when she was tired. She knew it all. She kind of forgot along the way, but now I'm taking this little girl and trusting that intuition. But I'm also going, you know, there's nothing wrong with French fries and gravy, little Nicole. However, you're gonna be really hungry if you just eat the French fries. Why don't you pair that with some protein or a salad and some fruit or something? Then you'll be fuller longer and you won't need to keep eating all the time. What society does to little Nicole and social media, it yells at this little girl right here and it says, "You're bad, why are you eating that? That's garbage. What's wrong with you?" They call little Nicole names and berate her for what she's eating, judge her, yell at her, basically scare and guilt her and shame her into not trusting her instincts or eating what she wants to eat. And you know, little Nicole is a metaphor for all of you watching. When you hear all of that or see all of that and you take that in and internalize it, that's what's happening to you. You would never say that. All of the things that people say to you or that you say to yourself based on what you're eating, you would never be able to look at that little girl and say it. And that's why I also keep a picture like this around, because if I can judge myself as an adult and put myself down. Oh, why'd you eat that? Or you ate too much, or you should have leveled off your peanut butter scoop, and I put myself down and really make myself feel bad. I could never say it to a little girl like that. What social media does without even realizing it is it's judging people for the way that they're eating, and people are starting to feel really bad, feel like bad people, and developing this massive guilt for liking food, for eating certain things, for not liking certain things, but feeling like they have to be perfect eaters. And then we're putting the food on a pedestal, turning it into the enemy or the hero, depending on what you eat. And then nobody knows how to eat anymore because we have all this information with social media. You can Google anything. You can look up anything about food, weight loss, health, whatever you want. It's all at your fingertips. But the problem is there's so much information and so much judgment based on what you do with that information. People are freezing. They don't know what to do and they're struggling and they can't have sustainable weight loss because they keep restricting themselves, thinking that that's the best thing to do, because certain things are not healthy and they might be bad people if they don't eat a certain way. This is BS. The BS has to stop. You've got to stop listening to the outside world and taking all of this nonsense and believing that you're a certain person, bad or good, based on all this BS that's out there, all this judgment. You really have to take the younger version of yourself, that 3-year-old kid that knew what they wanted to do. Think of yourself as a kid. We didn't have any of that. We didn't have any judgment of food, but we knew what we wanted and we somehow ate a balance. Think of that kid. Put it together with the adult you that has a little more experience. Put it together and make a whole, a balanced whole. Do you love cream in your coffee? Do you like, a lot of people say, I like to drink wine. Kyle and I personally don't, but we love diet pop. So we build that in, we include that. We love, like cookies and donuts. And so we make sure that we include that in our lifestyle change. If you like an adult beverage here and there, build it in. You're not bad or good because you ate or didn't eat that, or if you like it and it helps you stick to what you're doing, build it in. Make a diet made for you, a lifestyle change that you can stick to for the rest of your life. If you like going out for dinner with your family or having pizza on a Friday night, do it. The restriction of it, the labeling it, and then labeling yourself, that's what's causing the problems. Food is not the problem. It's what you think about it and the guilt underneath the food. That's the problem. Why you see all of this nonsense BS all over the place trying to guilt you into or out of eating certain things is because they want to keep it confusing. The weight loss and fitness industry and the corporations and stuff in general, they want you to go to them. So if they say, stay away from this not healthy processed thing, but buy my miraculously healthy things, or, grocery store is gonna say, hey, don't get this, but this is like this super antioxidant superfood. You gotta buy this now if you wanna be healthy. It wants to confuse you, scare you, guilt you, shame you, so that you'll keep coming back and buying their stuff and then getting confused, overwhelmed, feel bad, break down, overeat, and then rush and go buy super healthy things and start all over again. Potatoes, as far as we know, like for all of eternity, they've been gluten-free. But all of a sudden, the last few years, on potato chip bags, it's been labeled gluten-free. And Kyle and I always joke, we're like, haven't potato chips always been gluten-free? Like, aren't potatoes gluten-free? But that's a buzzword. For a long time, people thought that if it was gluten-free, it was healthy, it was for weight loss, and so all these big things that were gluten-free were all of a sudden marketed gluten-free so that you would go and buy more of it, and then you're judged if you don't eat gluten-free. And it just keeps going on and on and on. Drop the nonsense that you hear. Drop the BS. Cherry pick from everywhere, but don't copy and don't follow someone 100%. Not even me. Like, I want you to cherry pick if there's something that, you think might work for you, but don't listen to anybody anywhere. Don't listen to anyone except for you, and trust the instincts from that little kid that you used to be and combine it with who you are now. And it will really help guide you into what you actually want to eat when you're hungry. It'll tell you, hey, I'm full now, you can stop. Hey, I want fruit and a cookie today, or whatever, listen to yourself. Drop the nonsense, stop the judgment, the labels, the bad or good, the healthy, unhealthy. I don't label anything anymore. Yes, there are some foods that are more nutrient dense than others, absolutely. But I don't call my food good or bad, healthy or unhealthy. I just go, hey, I eat mostly more nutrient dense food most of the time, most of the day. And then a little bit of the day, I include kids cereal because that's one of my favorite things, or whatever I'm craving. Today, Kyle and I ate a cinnamon bun because that's what we wanted. We're not bad for eating that. I ate a chocolate chip on camera. I'm not bad for eating that either. And I'm not a good person because I ate a cucumber. I just ate a balance. Stop giving away your power and stop thinking that everyone else knows better than you. You know you best. And what I'm doing now is, yes, I'm listening to adult me and little kid me, but this little girl, she drives the ship because she's on a mission with bowls on her head. And I still put bowls on my head. I know this little girl knows. She knows that I like French fries and gravy still. She knows when she's full, when she's hungry, and so do I now. This little girl, she drives the ship because she knows me and I know me, and we know what we like, and we're gonna keep going on missions and trust in ourselves, and we hope that you do too. That's me and me. But so I really hope that this helps anyone struggling, and just know that you're not alone. And there's a lot more people than you think out there that are struggling with this and labeling themselves a bad or good person based on what they eat. And just remember, there is nothing wrong with you. No more giving your power away. You take it and you use it to do and eat what you want to do and what you want to eat. If you want to know exactly what I ate to lose the weight. I lost my weight with portion control, 130 pounds, and I've kept it off for 9 years. If you wanna know the exact meals and portions that I ate to lose the weight, I have a weight loss ebook that you can buy called The First 50. The link's down below, and code Nicole will save you 10%. Also have protein, or SEPs. This is HTLT SEPs, best tasting protein powder ever. And I couldn't decide between which one I wanted to show you, so I'm showing you both. These are two of my favorite flavors, the s'mores and the maple cookie. Code Nicole will save you 15% off, and the link is down below. A scoop of one of either of these in plain Greek yogurt makes the best low-cal, high-protein fruit dip. It's really good. So, thank you so much. I really hope that this helps you guys. I love you. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for your support. Don't forget to watch this vid and this vid for more fun, sustainable weight loss tips, because Sass and I are real friends losing weight in the real world, and we show you the whole picture. We share the recipes, the meals, the food. We also share tips, but we also share the underlying part. We show you the how to lose weight part, but the sustainable part is dealing with this stuff, the labeling, the guilt underneath. You have to deal with the entire picture in order to have sustainable weight loss, and that's what we do here. We also like to do it the fun way. So thank you guys, love you. Oh, and you know that I'll catch you in the next vid, cutie. Yeah, peace from Bullhead. Remember, the friends, that weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's also about here and here. Heart and mindset. Fight through it. You can do it. Don't give up.